I want to bring in Senator Jeff Flake in Washington, Republican senator from Arizona. Senator Flake, thank you for joining us again this morning. You tweeted out that the president's performance yesterday was shameful. I guess the big question is why he did it. Have you ruled out that Vladimir Putin has something on the president?
I would have no way of knowing that. I'd have a hard time believing that, but it's certainly the easiest explanation. I think that's why so many have gone to it. If that is what victory looks like, as the White House said, I think we all like to know what failure looks like in a summit. That was just a shameful performance. It really was.
Shameful, and we don't even know what happened in those 2 hours when President Trump and President Putin were alone.
Right.
Don't we need to know what happened in that conversation?
Yes, we do. That was a big mistake to meet alone. If the president is as confused as he seems to be in terms of our relationship and in terms of what the Russians are capable of, to meet privately with Vladimir Putin is just wrong. So I'm very concerned. I think that our allies are most concerned, particularly those that border right on Russia. I was with a congressional delegation in Latvia just 2 weeks ago. And what was unnerving is to hear them talk about the propaganda coming from Moscow that plays to about 40% of their population, which is Russian speaking, about NATO being weak and the U.S. being a non-dependable ally for NATO. And then to have this kind of rhetoric from the president just play so well into that has got to be unnerving to them.
You say you're concerned, you say this was shameful. The big question now is what you can do about it. You're a Republican senator. You've been quite critical, as we said, of the president. Many are demanding that you take some action right now as well. Senator Schumer said it's time to ramp up sanctions, said it's time to bring the president's team up to Capitol Hill to testify about what happened there, to demand extradition of the Russians. Are you willing to call for that, and are you willing to back it up with action?
I think we ought to do both of those things. One, increase sanctions. Obviously, we ought to target those who were implicated with the indictments, as well as other Russian individuals. Second, we ought to have the national security team of the White House come up and talk to us in Capitol Hill about what happened there. Third, I think immediately the Senate ought to pass a resolution stating our support for the intelligence community and that we do believe them and we don't believe the denials coming out of Vladimir Putin's mouth. So I think that can be done immediately.
Senator, you have a lot of leverage. One vote margin for the Supreme Court in the Senate. If you withhold your vote, you can demand accountability from the president, from his team. Are you willing to do that?
Well, I've used that on other issues like tariffs, where we can look at a defined objective. For me, it was getting a vote on tariffs last week, and we did. It's more difficult in this regard, however. The president, the Constitution gives the president a lot of power with regard to foreign policy, and we'd have to see if there is an objective measurable that we can demand before using leverage like this. That's what I'm looking at.
Senator Flake, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.